And we are live. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of DISANITY. It's another Tuesday night, and we are so happy to have you guys back. We are back and better than ever. And tonight we're going to have a really fun stream. So thank you to everybody being here tonight. We are going to be talking about moving to Florida, closer to Disney. Who doesn't want to do that, right? So we have some special guests with us tonight that are going to be talking about that process. And remember, this is part one of a three-part series that we're going to be doing on moving near Disney, closer to Disney in Florida. We'll talk about the neighborhoods, the schools, pricing, all kinds of different things, all over the course of the next 3 weeks here on DISANITY. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm glad you guys are all here. Hope everybody's having a great start to their week. I'm sorry, it's bad lighting in this room. I look like I'm about ready to tell a ghost story. But I'm not. We're going to have a good time tonight. But anyway, let me say hi to a few people in the chat, and then we're going to get started because we have a lot to talk about. Brian's in the house. What's up, Brian? Brian Eisenhart is here. Francisco, I love saying that name. What's up, Francisco? Welcome in. Craig's Robotics is here. Gene is here. Chris Slemmer's in the house. What's up, Chris? How's Molly and Jen doing? Hope they're doing well. Christine Hickman is here. Lady Jamers is in the house. Timothy Rainwaters is here. David Stevens, my man. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Mike Klemovich is here. Joy S is in the house. We also have Sarah E. Cruz. Paul Engel is here. What's up, Paul? Good to see you. There's Melissa. That's my better half. She's in the house as well. What's up, dear? She's actually just in the other room. And let's see who else is here at the moment. We also have James in the house. Jane Leslie. Captain Akron 27 is in the house. Teresa Martin is here. Debbie Bernfeld. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you. Wow, the chat just jumped. And we got a lot of people coming in right now. Let's see who else. Nicole, Sheldon's mom. What's up, Nicole? How are you? Good to see you. Magic of the Mouse Radio. Teresa Martin, Rianne, all the way from Australia. What's up, Rianne? Good to see you. 8-Bit Vacations. Piglet Rue Loves Disney is here. Sand Sells Luxury, welcome in. Jersey Mike's in the house. BDF, what's up, Keith? Good to see you. James Raffensperger is here. Mary Mai is in the house. What's up, Mary? How are you? Talking Mickey Project. What's up, Emma? Good to see you. How are you? Kate Schuster, welcome in. Wow, we have a lot of people that are here. Well, guys, thank you all again for being here. We're going to have a lot of fun. Mr. Cruise Fever, welcome in as well. Jan, what's up, JDHK? Welcome in. Cynthia Candy Mom's in the house. Wow, got tons of people coming in. Good to have you all here, guys. Well, again, guys, we're going to get started in just a minute. But before we do that, obviously, let me do some quick mousekeeping. Dean at The Live Place. Check him out, theliveplace.com. They are your family-friendly streamer. He's like your TV guide. He is the guy that has all these streams in one place. If you're looking for a certain stream, certain day of the week, certain genre, it's not all Disney, check out theliveplace.com. Our two partner channels are Steve's World and Disney Dan. You know about those guys. They are fantastic. If you don't, check them out. They're awesome. Ayana, welcome in. Heather, WDW Travels, welcome in as well. Good to have you here. Wow, we got 45 people already in here. Good to have you here, gang. Members, thank you to all of our members. Thank you for going that extra step with your generosity and commitment. We appreciate that as well. And I think we are pretty much up to date. There's Evan Huden. Welcome in, Evan. Good to see you. Stevie Lee is here. And more people just keep jumping in. But guys, we are glad to have you here. So let's get right into this. I'm going to bring in my two special guests. First and foremost, we have realtor Marc Younger is here. Marc, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. And Marc, do you want to say a few words before we bring in Josh, or do you want me to bring him in as well?
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to be here. I was like all of you about 4 or 5 years ago. I made the move down from Montreal, actually, from all the way up in Canada, and I couldn't take the winters anymore. So excited to be here and excited to live near the Disney.
Awesome. That's great. A couple other people are coming real fast before I bring in Josh. I want to say hi to Charlie and Stacy, the Disney Nerd. Ron and Meredith, the Dufely crew are here. We also have DWG Adventures in the house. Rebecca Virginia DIY is here as well. Wow, we got a lot of people coming in. That's great, gang. Thank you. And second, but certainly not any less more important, we also have Josh Luttrell in the house. Josh, thanks for being here, pal. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem at all. You want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, so I, like Marc, moved from up north, not all the way up in Canada, but I'm originally from Maine. Grew up and, went to high school, went to college in Maine. And then just like everyone else, got sick of the winter, didn't want to shovel any snow. So I packed up and drove down here. Been down here. I think I came down in September, and ever since, I love it. Well, I love living in Florida.
That's awesome. A few more people have come in real fast. I'm going to say hi to Jim More Sunshine, please. Welcome in, Jim. Thanks for being here, buddy. G. Wilson's in the house. Matt Simbatu is here. And I think that's everybody. Megan Grant is in the house as well. Well, guys, it's funny. Josh, you're from Maine. My wife is from Maine. Are you from southern Maine, northern? Where from?
Mid-coast Maine.
Okay, my wife is from Berwick.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm from Rockland, so it's like mid-coast Maine, kind of not southern Maine, but not all the way up and near the Canadian border. So right in the middle.
Gotcha. Tim Dietrich, welcome in. Tim's here. Barb Faith Hope and Disney is here. Al is in the house. What's up, Al? Good to see you. Courtney Rainwaters is here. Amilcar Padilla is in the house. We have already in here 60 people already, and they're still coming in. But we are going to get started. So what we're ultimately going to do, guys, is Josh and Mark are going to kind of lead this as we have like a PowerPoint presentation. And we do ask that for questions, we hold the questions till the end. We'll have a question and answer session afterwards as they kind of go through the process. So kind of get your questions together, and we'll go through them after the presentation as we talk a little bit about moving to Florida. So Josh, I'll let you start, and you just let me know when you want me to bring up the presentation. I can do that now if you'd like.
Mark, you all set?
Yep.
Mark. Did I say Josh? I meant Mark.
Yeah.
That's all right.
All right, there we go.
All right. So, hey, everybody. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. As I alluded to a little bit before, I was a financial advisor in Montreal, Canada. Was doing really well, was selling financial products, had 1,200 clients, was self-employed, was doing really well, but just could not take those Canadian winters, and just decided that's it. I was tired of living indoors, and we came down for vacation to Davenport, which is actually where I live now, which is about one of the areas we're going to talk about tonight. And it's about 20 minutes from Disney, so really not too far. You just hop on the highway, and really just a 10-minute highway jump over to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. And basically decided when we came down on vacation, I said, wow, like you get to live outdoors like all year round. You can play ball with your kids all year round. You could go on a bike in the middle of January with your kids. It's amazing. So I told my wife, I said, hey, we got to figure out a way to make this permanent. So that's exactly what we did. I looked into getting a visa and moving down here. So a lot of you Americans are actually lucky. You don't have to go through the whole process of getting a visa. You can just move down here. So that was us. And we really made it was a long process, but we made it happen, and we're so happy. Every day you get to wake up, and right, Walt, it's usually about 85 degrees and sunny. And I was out on a bike with my daughter today, and it was just so much fun. So, and Disney, right? So who doesn't love that? Amen. If you're here, it's probably because you love Disney.
That's right.
So,
great. Very good. All right.
So, Josh, do you want to maybe introduce yourself a little bit more, and then we'll go forward with the presentation?
Yeah. So I came down to Florida after I graduated college. I went to the University of Maine and got degrees in management and marketing. And then, started working at a bank up in Maine, and kind of had the same thought as Mark. I was like, I don't really want to go through any more brutal winters anymore. So I didn't have to get a visa and go through all that legal paperwork. So I packed up my car and drove down. And started my real estate career. It really is it growing up in Maine, and I'm sure some of you folks are from up north where it gets dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and down here, it's different down here where you can enjoy the sun and have your morning cup of coffee out by the pool, or just be outside. It definitely feels better and different lifestyle, and I definitely like it. I'm glad I made the move, that's for sure.
Agreed, 100%. I mean, that's already the first positive is what is the weather, and not only that, if you're on the East Coast, like I was from Maryland. I'm from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the East Coast. Florida's on the East Coast. But Disney and where we're located is just a little bit west of the East Coast, if that makes sense. So like my mom and dad, the sun would be set where they are, but it wasn't set where we are yet because we're just a little bit west of everybody else.
And that extra hour of sunlight, that really makes a difference. You know, being able to stay outside until 7 o'clock in the winter rather than, 6 or 5 o'clock, wherever, you guys are. But it makes a difference. It's nice.
Yes, for sure.
I love hearing these Baltimore stories, these Maine stories where you guys were getting sun till 5. Like, that's a luxury.
You probably went days without seeing sun.
3:30, I'm like,
That's funny.
All right, so what we've got for you tonight, guys, is what we decided to do is kind of check out. I know affordability. Everybody wants something affordable, and everybody wants something nice, and everybody wants something definitely close to Disney. So what we've done is kind of Josh and I picked out 5 neighborhoods that are close to Disney and that are affordable. That have properties that you can pick up for a decent price. And of course, depending on where you are, decent price might mean something different. Right now, $250 to $350 will get you in most of these neighborhoods, and we'll show you examples. Will get you a beautiful home, beautiful 3-bed, 4-bed home in within a 15 to 20 minute radius of the Disney parks.
Agreed 100%. Depending upon, again, Maryland is a very high cost of living. Down here, you get so much more house for your money. You really do.
Yes.
That's just talking about Maryland. Now, there are other places that are cheaper to live than Florida, but a lot are not. There are a lot that the cost of living is higher. So that is a good point. You definitely get a lot of house for your money.
And there's even some surprising things. I was hearing like Wyoming can be expensive. Parts of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is getting really expensive. Like places you wouldn't think are getting really expensive. And people are, one thing that we should talk about the demographics. If you do decide to move down here or you're thinking about it, you're not alone. There are over 1,000 people moving to Florida every single day now.
Wow.
So there is a huge depopulation from the north and from California, so New York and the surrounding states and California, and they're all leaving the high tax states to come down to Florida. And maybe that's something that we should mention is for those of you who don't know, Florida is a no income tax state. Am I saying that right? Yes.
No state tax.
No state tax. Yes, I'm sorry.
No state tax. Yeah, you definitely pay income taxes, and
yes, you'll pay the federal income tax.
Yeah.
But yeah, you won't pay the state income tax. So that does save people, depending on your state, anywhere from 5 to even 25%, on your income tax. And coming from Canada, trust me, we know we pay quite a bit of income tax, up to 50% income tax when you take the federal and the provincial together. So it was a huge net gain to move down here. So that's something to consider. And some of you have higher sales tax as well. We have a 7% sales tax. Where I came from in Montreal, in Quebec, we had a 15%. For some of you, that's probably crazy to think of. But every time you'd buy a $1 item, it would cost $1.15. When you buy a $25,000 car, you're looking at an additional, $4,000 in tax.
right.
So big difference down here. All right, so we're gonna start with Kissimmee. So that's how you pronounce it, everybody. Kissimmee. I hear a lot of people from different places, right, Walt, that say Kissimmee.
I was definitely one of them that couldn't pronounce it when I first saw it. I was like, I'm definitely not pronouncing this one right.
Well, I used to say Kissimmee, so
Yeah.
Kissimmee, right.
So Kissimmee is 11 miles to Disney, so it's about 15 to 20 minutes. It's a large town. Some places, even like in the marketing for Disney, sometimes they'll say Orlando Kissimmee area because it's really like a smaller southern, to the south of Orlando. So it's quite a big town. So you're really, depending on what part of Kissimmee you're in, you're 15 to 20 minutes away. Now, it's still pretty affordable. Newer 3 and 4 bedroom homes go between 300 and 400,000. And it's near Lake Toho. So there is a huge lake. In fact, our water company here in the Orlando Kissimmee area is called Toho Water, because we get our water from this huge lake that's to the south part of Kissimmee. So here is what you're looking at in terms of Kissimmee. So we've got a cute little orange car here that we've made the path, because in each one of these examples, we're going to use a path to go to Disney. So, and we kind of put it around Hollywood Studios, which is kind of the middle of everything.
Sure.
Of course, you've got Magic Kingdom up top, but you've got Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom up there, the trifecta.
Right.
So,
and if you notice, everybody, he's keeping you away from I-4.
Yes.
In this case, yeah, absolutely. So here we're getting the advantage of going along 192, which is also called Earlo Bronson. It's a large boulevard. Now you will have some lights, but anybody who's had to do the opposite and go north-south will be glad for that, because you're not having to go up and down I-4. Because this area here near Celebration does tend to get jammed up after the fireworks, right? So everybody leaves Magic Kingdom after fireworks, or Hollywood Studios after fireworks, or even Epcot, and then you kind of get stuck there. So this is nice that you can go east-west. So Kissimmee is this whole gray area here. So that's why I say some of it is closer than other parts. If you're way back at the back of Kissimmee, you're maybe 20 minutes away. If you're at the forefront here, you're maybe 13 minutes away. So you're pretty, it's a pretty close area. Now, some market trends about Kissimmee. The average price for a 3-bed, 2-bath is $319,000. The homes in Kissimmee have appreciated 10% in the last 12 months. Now, you might say, am I late to the game? I would say no, because of the demographics. So because there are a ton of people coming down from New York and New Jersey, it's actually a benefit. Homes, of course, I don't have a crystal ball. Things could change. But it does seem, and in fact, the federal bureaus that take care of these demographic things are saying that we're going to have a 10-year trend in front of us where things are people are just going to keep coming to Florida.
Wow.
Because of the high taxes in California, people are fleeing because of the high tax in New York. And what happened with COVID is people started realizing, hey, I don't have to live where the wind hurts my face. So because people can work remotely now, they don't feel as attached to where they live. Because before you might have to say, well, I don't have a choice. I have to live here. My job is here. But if you're able to work from a laptop, and you have one of those jobs where you can work from home, you have the advantage that now you can live anywhere you want. And a lot of people are picking Florida.
Melissa and I are exact examples of that. Melissa's company is from Maryland. They allowed her to move down here, allowed her to work remotely. I work for a large company that's nationwide, but they have offices everywhere. They allowed me to move down here. So you're right. I mean, that is definitely, in some cases, not for everybody, but for some cases, that's definitely a possibility. I agree. Yep.
And you also have, the major city Orlando, where you are looking for a new job. You have plenty of job opportunities in Orlando and the surrounding areas. I mean, you're in one of the major cities of Florida, so there's definitely opportunities wherever you look for jobs too.
Right.
All right. So We're going to move on to an area that is very close to where I live, called Four Corners. So actually we'll show you the map in a second, but this area is even closer. It's only 8 miles to Disney, about 10 to 15 minutes. so you're very, very close to the parks. The properties are even cheaper here. So Four Corners, you're closer to Disney, and you can actually find a 3 and 4 bedroom home for only 200 to 300,000. And in these areas, there tends to be a lot of gated communities with amenities. So because it is more of the touristy area, where a lot of tourists come, you might have a community that you might have one house out of 3 or 4 that's being that is a second home for someone, or even being rented once in a while or being rented long term. But on the other hand, you get a lot of amenities. So you'll have clubhouses, resort style pools, water slides. So if you have kids like I do, I actually moved to one of these resorts called Champions Gate, and it's going to come up later in the presentation. We just love it. We've got a lazy river, we've got water slides, we've got a clubhouse. We play poker twice a week. We've got a golf course. I mean, if you want to have fun, this is the place to have fun.
Let me ask you this, though. Full disclosure, because I like to be as transparent as possible. With those amenities come HOA fees.
Yes. And that was a consideration for us. So, some of you might freak out at the number I'm going to throw out here, but let me explain it. So, for example, I pay an HOA fee of $500 per month. However, my HOA fee includes, we're in a gated community, so crime is pretty much non-existent because people can't get through the gate unless they have the homeowner pass. Second of all, our cable and internet, which is, I think, Walt, you would agree, probably with Spectrum, if you get that yourself, you're looking at about $150, $170 a month. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So ours is free. It's included in our package.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you take off that 170, and now you're looking at 340. Well, on top of that, we get the membership to the golf course included. Well, right there, that wipes out the whole rest of it, because usually it's $3,600 for a couple to be Champions Gate Club golf club members. Well, we get it included. But if we take that aside and we put that aside for a minute, you also get your lawn maintenance taken care of. So usually when we lived in Winter Garden and we had to take care of it ourselves, we were paying a guy $20 a week, right, to do the lawn. Now, from those of you who are from up north, the grass grows all the time here in Florida. So it's not something that you could pay somebody like when I was in Canada, you could pay somebody $20 a week, 4 months of the year. You have to do it all year round. Well, here it's included. We've got lawn maintenance included, and they take care of the lawn maintenance of the whole community. So if I showed you what the community looks like, it looks absolutely pristine. It looks like it's like Celebration, right? Where it's just like
perfect.
Wisteria Lane, like my wife would say, in that show, Desperate Housewives.
Right.
It just looks pristine all the time because there's literally a team of people going by and cleaning and crimping everything.
Right.
So if you like to live in somewhere that's every time you come, you get shocked how beautiful it is, HOAs might be for you. Right. On top of it, we have the whole multi-million-dollar clubhouse. So we have a lazy river. We have a restaurant, a bar. What am I missing, Josh? You've been here.
Restaurant. Movie theater, workout room.
Yeah.
Arcade. Activities.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's a resort. You live in a resort, but you don't have. I know, at least like on the homeowner side, you don't have the feeling that you're in a resort because you live with all the long-term residents. So it feels like a regular neighborhood. And then, across the street, you have a resort that is yours and you can go to anytime.
Exactly. And we also get $75 at the restaurant every month credit. So really, when you put all that together, $300-400 of that $500 is covered. So, all right. So that's Four Corners. Now, Four Corners, very, very close. This is the area right here. And we're a hop, skip, and a jump to the parks. So if you love going to any of the parks or even the 2 water parks or Disney Springs, you're right on top of it. You're right there. But you're in a community where you're not going to feel like you're at Disney, right? So you're going to be in your own little community, just like a regular community, but then you're 8 minutes away from Disney. All right. So the market trends of Four Corners. The average price for a 3-bed, 2-bath is only $260,000. So especially from people from up north, yeah, that's quite an inexpensive price. The homes in Kissimmee have appreciated 11.3% in the last 12 months. So the good news there is if those trends continue for the next 10 years, that home's going to be, you're going to have a lot of equity in 10 years. You're looking at, doubling your price, which is actually what's happened since 2008 to 2021. We had that crash, and then since then we've had 13 years of unprecedented growth. So you have an opportunity to get in kind of at the ground floor and have this growth keep going for the next 10 years because of the demographics. There are some states where that's not the case. New York is losing people. Illinois is losing people. California is losing people. In those states, prices are going down and you're losing equity. In Florida, you're gaining equity. So you'd be actually $26,000 richer thanks to your home every year that you live here.
Right. And somebody asked, what would your average monthly payment be on a house in the 260 range or 300 range? I can kind of speak to it a little bit. Mark, obviously you can, and Josh can.
Yep.
It's going to vary depending upon your credit score, how much you're putting down,
right,
how many years you want to take out the loan for. There's a lot of different. I mean, I don't know. Is there an average for a home like that?
It's a loaded question.
Actually,
because there's so many factors that go into it. Interest rate. How, like you said, how much you're putting down. I mean, there's tons of factors that go into that.
But let me show you, Walt. I think we can have kind of a precise answer now. Taxes will vary, like Josh says. Insurance and HOA will vary, right? If you just have an HOA that has just a pool, community pool, then you're not going to pay as much. You might pay $100 a month. If you're going to have something like I have, where you've got a lazy river and an arcade and all that stuff, you're going to pay $400 or $500 a month. But as an example, this home here, you'd pay $1,631 if you put down 20%, and you had a mortgage pay. Your mortgage payment will be $1,044. As an example, your rate would be 3.25%. Your taxes would be $321 a month, and your insurance. Don't forget the insurance is included here, and your HOA dues.
Right.
Now, the HOA dues on this home are $188 a month. So they're estimating about $80 for the insurance, and that makes your monthly total $1,631.
And how much was the home?
The home this was an example of this home here in Windermere for $299.
So $1,600, $1,650, round up to $1,700 a month
for a $300,000 home. Yeah.
Yeah, for a $300,000 home.
Yeah.
Again, and you're right, it's going to vary.
Right.
It's going to vary depending upon the person. Some people might put more down, some might put less down, some might get a better interest rate, some might not. Some might say, hey, I want to do a 20-year mortgage, not a 30.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of different factors.
Exactly. So if we put like a 5% down payment here, then you would get a different example. So a 30-year fix, you're putting down $14,000. Your mortgage payment will be $1,240. The rest stays about the same. Now, if you don't put down 20%, and this is not a Florida thing, this is a national thing, it's $126. So your PMI, your mortgage insurance would be $126, and that's why if you put down less than 20%, you pay that $126 a month, and you're looking at about $1,953.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But there's also, closing costs or down payment assistance programs as well, which is a whole nother topic. But for buying a house, there's programs out there to help with your closing costs and your down payment. And I think there's tons of them out there, and it's on a case-by-case scenario. So that's an option as well.
What about property taxes? What is property tax on a house like that?
So in this example, it was $321 per month.
Okay, so that was part of the $1,600.
Absolutely. Everything is included here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Except your closing costs. And like Josh was mentioning, there are, if your credit score is decent, there are we're talking maybe 700, 720 or more. There are some programs that can actually forgive your part of your closing costs.
They're grants, so you don't have to pay them back. And then some of them will completely give it to you. Other ones where you'll pay back for a certain amount of years, and the rest will be forgiven. There's tons of them out there.
Great.
All right. So let me just grab my presentation again. There we go. All right. So moving on, we have Windermere. So Josh, I'm going to let you present Windermere since you lived right next to Windermere for a little while here.
Yeah. So Windermere is unique. It's 14 miles to Disney, but it really gives you that small hometown feel. 6 miles, 15 minutes to Universal. And, you have the best of both worlds because you have the affordability of homes, but you also have more high-end homes if you prefer that. You can have the schools there are A+. You have Windermere Elementary. You have Windermere High School, which is some of the best schools in Central Florida. You can have a regular, 3 or 4 bedroom home, or you can go all the way up to a mansion. Windermere really has, best of both worlds. I think Shaq and Tiger Woods actually lived in Windermere as well. Or did at one point. Who knows if they probably moved. But
yeah, I think Shaq actually just put his house up for sale.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you've got a cool, what was it, like 12 million, you could pick it up. Or
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's and Windermere has a small downtown. It has, lakes around it. There's called the sandy streets of Windermere, which kind of, for whatever reason, off the lake, the streets are literally sand. So it kind of gives you that, beach town vibe as well while being in Central Florida, which is unique.
Gotcha.
But let me go to the map.
All right. So this is where Windermere is. It's to the north.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you finish, Josh. Sorry.
No, so and this is, you don't have to get on I-4 for this one as well. 20 to 25 minutes, so you're a little further away, but under 30 minutes is still, you go out for dinner, a couple times a night or a week at Disney if you really wanted to. It's not far, but you still get that hometown vibe, that small city, which is nice.
Right, and the thing about it is when you look at that map, like you said, you're really close to Universal. But I mean, if you're at the top of the map right there, you're a lot closer to Magic Kingdom than you are Hollywood Studios on this side.
Right.
Magic Kingdom is at the top there, almost by where the car is, because I think that's
that top star
lake right there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you can actually take Western Way, which is right here.
Yep.
Or somewhere around here, and you can basically pick that right to here. Like obviously it's a smaller road, so it doesn't cut. You don't see it here, but you can actually cut across Horizons West, come down to here on Reams Road. So it doesn't need.
Yeah.
All right. So market trends of Windermere. Now the average price for the homes here is $526. So Windermere, as we were saying, is a more expensive area.
Right. You get the best of both worlds. I mean, that's the average. Some communities, you can get cheaper than that. Other communities can go well above that. So Windermere, has best of both worlds, in my opinion.
And the home that we were just looking at, by the way, everyone, was $299, and it was in Windermere. So there are some deals to be had there as well.
And we have friends in the community, won't say who they are, that do live in Windermere, and they love it. So
there you go. All right, we're going to move out to something that I was describing a few moments ago, and that's where I live, in Champions Gate. I'll be a homer for this one. I love it. I love living here. It's 12 miles to Disney, about 17 minutes, I can confirm. I live slightly at the back of the community, and so it takes me a little while to get out of the community and onto I-4. But once I get on I-4, it's 2 exits, so it basically could take me 8 to 10 minutes to get, on I-4, plus just getting out of my community. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes to get to Disney. It's pretty affordable. I mean, these are brand new homes. So this is a Lennar community. Lennar is one of actually, it's the biggest builder in the United States. And, you know, you can get a brand new 3 or 4 bedroom home for 300 to 350 here. I was just looking with a client, and, you know, like 320 will get you like a 2,000 square foot 4 bedroom home. Brand new, that they're not even finished building, and they'll be done in maybe a month or two for him. So, you know, it can be very affordable here. And this is our lazy river. Amazing amenities. We've got the best clubhouse. I work with a lot of investors, and we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. But that want to invest here and buy like a summer home. They want, you know, they're not ready to make the move, or they want to make some extra cash flow. And, you know, we've got an amazing clubhouse, an amazing pool, an amazing lazy river, and lots of activities here. So it's a fan favorite for a lot of people.
Okay.
And Champions Gate is down here, and you basically just hop on I-4, and there you go. You get off at exit 62, and make a quick cut across on 192, and you're there. So it's a pretty quick jaunt. Market trends of Champions Gate. The average price is $286 for a 3-bed, 2-bath. Homes in Champions Gate have appreciated 9.7% in the last 12 months. So, and there are many parts of Champions Gate. So I live in the Lennar section of Champions Gate, but there's a larger area of Champions Gate where there are different communities that are less expensive, maybe 5 to 10 years old. You don't need to have a brand new house, of course, and yet those homes, you know, can still be had in the you know, $250,000 to $300,000 range. Last one here is Davenport. So Davenport, a little bit farther to the south. We're talking about 27 minutes from Disney, but it's extremely affordable. 3 and 4 bedroom homes from $270,000 to $350,000. It's kind of the next big thing as people are moving down from Orlando, because Orlando is kind of becoming unaffordable. Orlando itself, people are moving down towards Disney and trying to find that next place that, you know, is still in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. And Davenport is where it is right now. It's got a small town feel. You're away from the hustle and bustle. You've got a lot of little lakes. So if you're fans of having a lake in your backyard or nearby, Davenport might be the place for you.
Can I interject for a second? I'm going to answer this question now. Somebody asked, is Champions Gate a high rental community?
Well, that's an amazing question. Yeah. And in fact, it is unique. Most communities, for example, in the Four Corners area, which I mentioned, are everybody mixed together. What they did with Lennar, with the planning in Champions Gate, is great, because what we do is they've split it in two. So they have what they call the country club for the, it sounds hoity-toity when I say it, but it's the country club is for homeowners, permanent homeowners. You cannot do a short-term rental where I live. I live on the, let's call it the left side of the street. The left side of the community is for homeowners, permanent homeowners. You can do a long-term lease, but generally it's 95% permanent homeowners, and I'd say 5% of the people are second home people from the north. So they'll come here for, you know, 4 months, they'll snowbird, and then they'll go home. And then nobody lives in that home while they're gone. Now, that's the homeowner side, called the country club. On the other side is called the retreat, and that is where the Airbnb. So that's a mix of people that come down to snowbird and rent when they're not there, and a mix of some people that just come to vacation 2 or 3 weeks a year, and they Airbnb it the rest of the time. But that is the Airbnb side of things. So you've got 2 different sides, which is great, because personally, with young kids, I don't want to have music blaring because a family's here on vacation for a week. So we're quite removed from that. So we can't hear them. we can't see them. They're on the other side of the community.
Right.
But we all share the clubhouse.
Like one side of the road, the main road is all long-term residents, homeowners,
Right.
and you go through your own separate gate to get to those homeowners too. So it's like your own, it's your own subdivision where you don't have, tons of activity because you have renters coming and going all the time. And then on the other side of the road, which is massive, is a completely separate gate, and it's guard gated all the time. Is where all the short-term rentals are and all the clubhouses are as well.
Gotcha. Okay. That's great.
So to finish up here with Davenport, Davenport's to the south. So it's this whole area here south of 27. You have lots of shopping here on the corner of 27 and I-4. It's called Posner Park. There's a big Target there and lots of shopping. Five Below is one of my wife's favorites. So you've got lots of stuff here up and down 27. But you're a little further away, but it's more affordable in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it just depends. I mean, that's where we are right now. We're in that area, and it's close enough. It really is. I mean, Mark, I'll be honest with you. For us, we're 15 minutes from Disney, and we're in the Davenport area. So
yeah, and
you're right.
Davenport's big, right? It's if you're up here, like I was saying with some of the other communities, you're 15 minutes, and if you're down here, you're 27 minutes. So it just depends.
Okay.
And you guys you're on the top part of it, right?
I think so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that definitely helps us.
So the average price for a 3-bed, 2-bath is $279, and the homes in Davenport have appreciated 16.2% in the last 12 months. So you will pay a little more than you would have last year, but on the other hand, if that trend continues, you're going to have a heck of a lot of equity over the next 5 and 10 years.
And that's a good thing about Florida is the appreciation, year over year is so much. So, you come down and get your starter home in Florida and stay in it for, 2 to 3 years, and then you sell it again and you make money off it, which is, a lot of people don't really realize that benefit of home ownership.
Right. Yep. And that's a question. Right. Again, that's what the second part, that's what part 2 next week will be about, is you have to make that, that's a conscious decision as well. You're looking at something that you want to be your forever home. Is it possibly going to be something you want to do as an investment? Maybe a little bit of both. You're right. I mean, there's a lot of different things to look at.
So do we want to take some questions? Is there anybody else that you saw in the chat there that had any questions for us?
Yep. I'm going to take this out and we'll come back to here. Josh, I might get you a little bit out of the screen. Oh, no, there we go. So Jeff says, are you guys seeing a lot of cash buyers? Seems to be the thing with people moving down from up north.
So I know personally, cash buyers I'm seeing more than normal, I guess, just because people are liquidating assets. In California, New York, up north, they're liquidating all their assets and moving it to Florida. So I guess I would say I personally am seeing more cash buyers in situations, but that cash doesn't always win the offer. There's a lot of things that go into winning an offer and winning a home, and cash, versus a conventional loan. Mm-hmm. Those are both very good options, and just because you're up against a cash offer doesn't mean you're not going to win a contract.
I'm, again, an example of that. I just sold my home in Maryland. We actually closed today. I did not take the cash offer.
Right. And I think a lot of people get discouraged when they hear that, there's a lot of cash offers out there because they don't think they can compete with it. But, you can. The financing versus cash is just one aspect that goes into a contract and owning a home, or winning a contract, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Right, exactly. So Stardio Studio says, if I sold my place in New York City, it would be an all cash deal, and I could have a good amount to still left there to save. Okay, so I guess I'm getting tempting by it. I thought there was a question there. It was more of a statement.
No, he's just excited. I'm like,
I'll chime in on this one real quick. Is that a lot of my clients have come, from New York and California, where they sell everything, and they file a 1031 exchange to avoid the capital gains, and then move all their assets into Florida for home ownership and investment homes, because you own an investment home and it's going to make you money.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So Daniel says home insurance, is it high to do storms? And what about sinkholes? He lives in Maryland now, going to Davenport. If that makes a question. Daniel, I may need you to repost, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So home insurance, you're usually talking 100 to 150, depending on the value of the home and the age of the home. And that's not something really we can answer. It's you have to kind of go with the 150. Now, is it high due to storms? When I moved here, I had a lot of misconceptions about Central Florida, and I think Walt, you'll probably be able to chime in on this. I thought it was full of snakes, gators. They were everywhere. They just gators on every street, right? And there's snakes everywhere. It's like moving to the jungles of Costa Rica or something. I also thought that there was hurricanes and storms all the time, because if you turn on CNN or Fox News, during hurricane season, and heck, they wish everything was hurricane season, because they get all the more crazy they make it sound, the more viewers they get. So they're like, red alert, everyone in Florida is gonna die. Category 5, everybody freak. And then what I've learned to do is I just wait. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, by the way, Hurricane Maria is now downgraded to a level 4, and it's about to hit Puerto Rico. And then it's a level 3, and then it's a level 2, and it hits Miami, and then it's a level 1, and it hits Fort Lauderdale, and then it's like a little gust of wind by the time it
tropical storm.
Right. Well, it's part of the advantage of being in Central Florida. By the time it makes land, you lose a lot of the gusto. Right. If you're in Tampa, you're in St. Augustine, something like that, where you're on the coast. Okay, I can understand your trepidation. But being in Central Florida, any storm, when it makes landfall, loses its power significantly. Not all the time. I mean, the real big ones battle through, but you don't get those as often as you might think.
Yeah, because they have to push through all these trees, thousands and thousands of trees, and that just kills off the power of it by the time it gets halfway up.
But the water and the moisture from the water and being on the coast is what also strengthens storms.
Right.
And it doesn't have the water to strengthen it. That's part of it. But we're talking storms.
It's one. I would say there's like one every 10 years. From what I've heard from people that have been here 30 years, it's like there's one big one every 10 years. And you might get we had one 4 years ago when the first year I moved here. We had one that basically two shingles tore off our roof, and our lanai our pool screen enclosure had a couple of ripped screens. And that was it. And they were convincing us that we had to get sandbags and we were all going to die. And then in the end, it was it was a mouse, and they were making a molehill, a mountain out of a molehill.
Right.
So.
Gotcha. Let me ask this next question. Debbie Burnfield, it's a good question. And it says, what is there available for someone that is single and a senior citizen? I live in South Florida and thinking about moving to Orlando. So I guess that's a good question. I mean, there may be those that are single or senior citizens on a majorly fixed income. Is there options?
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, take this one. Go ahead.
Okay. So there, just off the top of my head, there's a lot of 55 plus, communities in Central Florida. The bigger ones are Point Siena, so South Kissimmee, Sola Vida, right, Mark? That's what it's called. Sola Vida is actually just a quick, 30-second rundown of it. It's 7 different subdivisions, and it's basically all South Kissimmee, and it's all connected by golf carts. So you can go through tunnels into a different place, all through golf cart. You don't have to get on the main road. And they have their own little downtown area. They have, I think, 14 clubhouses, or clubhouses / pools. So Sola Vida is one of the bigger communities that's 55 and plus. And then also the Villages, which I think is probably one of the top contender for a 55 plus community in Florida. The Villages is huge as well, kind of the same feel. in the community, you have your own like downtown area. You have, your separate community outside of the walls, the gate, I guess, if you want to call it.
Right.
So
Any idea on pricing for something like those, though? What would you be looking at?
I mean,
Can I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me take it from a different stance. I would say that you've got 4 levels there because you were talking a little bit about fixed income, right? So I would say that your 4 levels would be very, very fixed income would be a mobile home.
Right.
Then you'd have a condo, then you'd have a townhouse, and then you'd have a home.
Right.
And there are 55 plus communities that do cater to fixed income. And, you can get in touch with us and we can look at, depending on how fixed the income is, there's an option for you.
Gotcha. And let me just interject that now while I got a second here. There's a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to try to get to as many as we can. Josh and Mark, do you guys have links that you can send me via email so that if people do want to reach out to you, I can put that in the chat for them so that they have a way to contact you? Josh, you have my email. Mark, you have mine. If you guys could please just send me something while you got a second here.
Okay.
That way I can put that in the chat and then people will have a way to reach out to you if they need to.
Emails, phone numbers, stuff like that?
Yeah, whatever you can send, or like, I don't know if you have a link to a website that they can just click on and find all of that. Something like that would be great. Or just give me all that too in an email, Mark and Josh, and I'll get that out to them in the chat. Avery does say, in your opinion, gentlemen, what is the best beach town to move to in Florida? So if you had to get a beach town.
Oh, well, I'm going to be biased because I'm actually moving to South Florida to Boca. So I think, in my opinion, I like Boca the best, Boca Raton. Okay. So that's mine just because I'm moving there.
Around here, so if we're talking Central Florida, on a budget, it would be like Cocoa Beach, Titusville. And without a budget, it would be New Smyrna Beach on the if you're looking for the East Coast. If you're looking on the West Coast, you'd look at like Tampa, the Tampa area, and then it would just depend, how far into Tampa. It depends on what your budget is. And then for a really awesome beach on the West Coast, my personal favorite would be Siesta Key. It's a big, wide beach, as opposed to the thinner, kind of seaweedier beaches on the East Coast. Not in Boca Raton, of course. But I mean, up here in Central Florida, Cocoa Beach, for example, will be a little bit more seaweedy or a little bit rougher sand. Beautiful white sand beaches like you used to see in Baywatch in the 90s. You're looking at like Siesta Key or Clearwater Beach on the West Coast.
Okay, great. Charlie and Stacey wanted to know, the homeowner's insurance, was that $100 to $150 a month or per year?
That was per month. Yeah, it'd be nice if it was per year.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Stardio Studio says, here's a question. Can homes have a natural gas generator in case there are power outages due to storms, hurricanes, alligators? Can you have a gas generator?
Yes, a lot of homes have gas. I would say, well, not a lot. I mean, I would say maybe 10 to 15% of homes here use gas and the rest use electric. Okay. So yes, you can have it. I haven't seen it used very often. But
it comes down to the HOA as well, if the HOA will allow it or not.
Gotcha. Okay. Lou wants to know, what do you recommend for a single person who does not want an apartment under 200K? Are there any options there?
Lakeland and Winter Haven, which are a little bit farther to the south, or a condo. I mean, you could still get a condo for a single person. Pick up a condo and or a townhouse.
Yeah, townhouses. There's some nice townhouses. We're in great, communities that have palm trees all over the place, mature landscaping. Nice clubhouses. So townhouses are a good option as well.
Gotcha.
I sent you the links. I sent you my phone number and my email there, Walton.
Yeah, I think I see Josh's. Yours hasn't come through yet, Mark. I'm sure it'll be here. There it is. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Jane says, are there any rental homes as opposed to apartments in those neighborhoods, the ones we talked about? If so, are there any short-term rentals?
Yes, absolutely. And we could definitely discuss those. Yeah, there's short-term rentals. You could do a 1-week vacation Airbnb, or you could do, be a natural, monthly renter. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Let me just add this real fast right here. I'm gonna add Mark's phone number and.
I see a question there. I'll maybe take it. I've heard jobs in Florida pay less comparative to Maryland. Can you confirm? That's traditionally been true. So yes,
But cost of living is cheaper
Right.
too.
yeah,
So you're gonna look at
exactly.
it as like a ratio and a percentage. Cost of living is lower, so the pay is going to be lower. Cost of living is higher, so your pay is going to be higher. So I guess to everyone, when looking to move down here, moving jobs, if you're going to be taking a pay cut, really look at pay cut, but what are your expenses going to be? So
Right.
kind of look at it that way.
Well, again, I'm a prime example. I moved from Maryland to Florida.
Mhm.
There are pros and cons to everything. Nothing is perfect. You have to say, are the cons going to outweigh the pros, or are the pros going to outweigh the cons? Your cost of living is going to go down, but more than likely, if you have to get a new job, yes, your pay is probably going to go down. There are different things you have to look at in that respect. So it's a question I'd say yes to, but there are different circumstances to that on what I've seen for me. I mean,
If you can keep your job with your Maryland pay
you'll be.
and move down here, you'll live like a king.
Yeah,
I
you'll
did.
love it.
I did. We have our own issues, but I mean, we did. We were very lucky in that respect. I will say that. Carly says, does Florida allow contingency offers for all of my equity if all of my equity is in my current property, or would I need to sell first?
Yeah, we allow contingency offers, but that again comes down to the strength of the offer. My advice would be, if you're making a contingency offer, when your home is under contract in wherever it is, and then you want to move to Florida, you're going to have to provide like the contract and the closing date, so it's going to close, and you're going to be able to transfer all the equity into a new home at a later date. And you can line up the closing dates to be close. But I mean, short answer, yes, we accept contingency offers.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, I have another question here. Charlie and Stacy want to know about buying a home compared to an investment property. We'll actually talk about that next week. We'll talk about investment properties. So tune in for that. We're going to kind of table that one until next week.
We got a big investment one next week.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else I wanted to see here. I did have a question. Ron and Meredith said, we have solar up here. It saves a lot of money. Now we will have solar on our new home. Solar it's not everybody has it, but it is a possibility, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And usually you can finance solar. You basically don't pay anything for your power, but you'll pay for your solar. But then, eventually your solar will be paid off, and then you're going to have the best of both worlds. You're not going to have to pay for the solar anymore. You're not going to have to pay for the, the monthly, and then you're also not going to pay anything for your power for your house. And in certain circumstances, you can actually get money from the solar company for your power that you're giving back to the grid.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff says, excellent job, guys. Everyone, ping these guys and move to Florida. It's paradise down here. There you go.
Thanks, Jeff.
That's funny. Well, we are coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. We have just about 100 people in here right now watching as we speak. Any last questions to everybody in the chat? Now would be the time to pose them. Again, next week we are going to be doing part 2, where we will be talking about moving to Florida or buying a home in Florida as an investment property, because that is definitely an alternative for a lot of people. You may want to stay where you are, but maybe you want a home down here as an investment as well. So that's definitely a show you want to show up for next week. Same thing, 8 p.m. next week. Mark, we'll start with you. Any last words before we head out?
Yeah, well, I'm really excited for next week. We'll show you all about Airbnb, buying properties here that you can come and visit whenever you want for vacation. Get a little break from your Baltimore or your New York or your Connecticut life, and still get to make some money. We'll talk to you about how to make money, how to choose the right properties, and we'll talk to you about Home Theme Orlando, which is our company that themes properties with Disney themes, Universal themes, other kind of themes that really will rake in the return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Josh, any last words?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just kind of going off Mark about next week. I know I talk to a lot of people that, want to retire in Florida. And I always tell them, if you're not ready to come down, but you want to come down in, 5 years or so, pick up an investment property, start making money, building equity in a second home that's going to pay for itself. And then you can just transfer all that to your retirement home in Florida. So it's kind of, looking at your financial plan of, if you're going to retire in 5 to 10 years, pick up an investment home in Florida that's going to pay for your forever or your retirement home in Florida. So I think next week's going to be fun. This week, I mean, this was definitely a fun session as well. So
absolutely. Well, a couple things before we head out, everybody. I want to do a little bit of quick mousekeeping before we head out. First and foremost, if anyone does reach out to Mark or Josh, I would ask, this is kind of my plug, that you please let them know that you heard it from Mouse Talk, so they are aware that it is from us. We definitely have a partnership, Mark and I, in this, so they definitely need to know that it is from Mouse Talk, that you're hearing from them if you do decide to move forward. I highly recommend that you do, Mark or Josh, that you contact them. Obviously, as you can see, they are very well versed. They are educated on this to the nines. They have their information, and they're ready to help you get into your forever Florida home, or maybe your Florida investment. I would definitely say you want to check them out. If you're new here, I saw a lot of new names. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. That way, when we do go live next week for the next part of this, you're not going to miss it. You'll get notified and you'll know all about it. But I want to say thank you to both Mark and Josh for spending their Tuesday nights here. We definitely appreciate you both very, very much, gentlemen.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Walt, for having us on. And thanks, Melissa. I know you're out there.
She's out there, yep. But thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to all of my mods. Thank you for all that you do. Thanks for keeping the chat family friendly. Thank you to everybody for coming in. Thank you to all of our members. Other than that, guys, this weekend we'll be at the park Saturday on Magic Kingdom, 8 a.m. for a live stream. Probably be at Universal on Sunday. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. Be sure to join us for that. Other than that, gang, I want to say thank you and appreciate everybody for being here tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. And get those questions ready for next week. And until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.